Thanks for clicking. Now in this session we are discussing about the greatest integer function or a step function. Look at here, greatest integer function and step function. Step x always indicated like this. Step x. This is called step x. This indicates integral part of x. It is also known as floor x. Floor x. Suppose x be any number. For example, 3.2. So 3.2 lies between two integers, 3 and 4. Okay. So then step x value is equal to 3. Suppose x value is 3.2 and we know that this 3.2 value lies between 3 and 3 plus 1, 4. So then step x value is equal to 3. That means it is clear that we have to answer the step x value always the greatest integer that the number belongs to. Okay. For example, suppose look at this graph. This is x-axis, origin, y-axis. Step x is this x-axis is also called real line. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Here in the left hand side 0, minus 1, minus 2 and so on up to minus infinity. According to the step x definition, suppose consider any value between 0 and 1. For example, 0.5. Then step of 0.5 is 0. Okay, that is the greatest and nearest integer. And the graph continues up to 0.999. Step of 0.999 is also 0. If step 1 equal to 1, look at here, this dark pointing indicates the value included and the off circle or white circle indicates the negligence of the point. So step 1 is 1, 1. Step 1.1 is 1. Why? Because 1.1 lies between 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So step value of 1.1 is 1. Similarly, step 1.5 is also 1. Step 1.999 is also 1. And next, step 2. Step 2 is 2. Okay. Step 2.1 is 2. Step 2.99 is also 2. And so on. Look at here on the negative side, negative x-axis side. Here the value you can take minus 0.1. So we know that minus 0.1 is lies between minus 1 and 0. So its step value is minus 1. Okay. Step 0 is 0. And step of minus 1 is also minus 1. Okay. Step 1.1 is minus 2. Step 1.999 is also minus 2. And step minus 2 is also minus 2. Step minus 1.999 lies between minus 2 and minus 1. So what is the greatest integer? minus 2. So the result is minus 2. So and so on. So you can look at this entire graph. You can see the steps. It look like steps. So we can call it also step function or a floor of x. Now after understanding the concepts of this step function, that means basic definition and graph of this step x, let's take a look at the properties. The first property is x value. X value means any real number lies between step x and step x plus 1. Okay, and step x value lies between x minus 1 and x. Suppose I is an integer and x value lies between integer and I plus 1 is also an integer. Then step x value is equal to I. Look at this property. Step of step x is step x. Step x plus step of minus x is 0 whenever x is an integer. For example, take x value is 2 and we know that step x is 2 plus step of minus 2 is also minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. If even in case x is a non-integer number, x is a non-integer number, that means you can take minus 2.3 or a 2.3. Let us consider 2.3. So 2.3 is a non-integer number. Step x means step 2.3 is 2. Step of minus 2.3 is minus 3, right? Then what is the value? 2 plus minus 3 minus 1. So this property indicates this kind of values. And step of minus x is minus x whenever x is an integer. We already discussed about this in this graph. And even in case if it is a non-integer means you can take minus 2 point, non-integer means suppose take 2.3 x value. So minus 2.3, how much is that? Minus 3. Let's calculate this value. Minus 1 minus x means 2.3. So step of 2.3 is 2. Minus 1 minus 2, how much? Minus 3. So for learning these properties without thinking or taking some examples, you can directly answer this type of questions. So step of minus x is minus x whenever it is integer, or it is a non-integer, this value minus 1 minus step x. Okay, look at here. Step x minus step of minus x equal to 2x whenever it is integer. We already we discussed here addition of these two step values, and here we are discussing subtraction of these two step values. So if it is an integer, for example, take 2, x value is 2, 2 minus step of minus step of minus 2 is minus 2. So 2x. Okay. If x is non-integer, for example 2.3, step 2.3 is 2 minus step 2.3 is minus 3. Then 2 plus 3, how much? 5. So by taking here, so 2x plus 1. 2 2s are 4, 4 plus 1, 5. Okay. Next, look at here. Step of x plus or minus n, where n is a integer. Then you can directly answer this through this property step x plus or minus n. That means you can take out n value from the step function. If step x is greater than or equal to n, where n is an integer, so if and only if x greater than or equal to n. For example, x value is 2.3 and we know that step 2.3 is, or you can take 2, suppose you can take 2, n value is 2, why? Because n is an integer. So step x greater than or equal to 2. Step 2 is 2, we know that. So x can assume x greater than or equal to n. Look at this property, step x greater than n. Suppose n value is 2, step x value is more than 2. Step x value is more than 2. That means more than 2 means 3 or more. You have to take the x value 3 or more. So x greater than or equal to n plus 1, where n belongs to integer. Okay. Now look at this property, step x greater than n. If and only if step x greater than n means, suppose n value is 2, step x value more than n, that means x greater than or equal to, we already discussed about this. Next, look at this property, step x lesser than or equal to n. Step x less than or equal to n. Suppose n is 2.3, maybe equal to 2.3 or a lesser value you have to assume for x. So you can take x values lesser than n plus 1. That means 3 or less values you have to consider for x. 2.9, okay. 2.9 is n value we are taking here 2. If you take x value 2.9, so step x equal to 2. Yeah. Look at here next property, step x less than n. Step x less than n. That means you can directly take x value less than n for all n belongs to integer. A few properties is there. Step x can be written as step x by 2 plus step of x plus 1 by 2. And the natural number here, n is the natural number. You can write this natural number as step n plus 1 by 2, step n plus 2 by 4, and so on. Step x is equal to step of x by 2 plus step of x plus 1 by 2. The addition of two numbers will give you step x. And any natural number for n, you can write step of n plus 1 by 2, step of n plus 2 by 4, and so on, where n is a natural number. And step x plus step y less than or equal to step of x plus y, less than or equal to step x plus step y plus 1. Okay. For example, x value is 2.1, y value is 3.1. What would be the step of x plus y? 5. Step x is 2, step y is 5, maybe equal to or sometimes lesser values. And step x is 2, step 3, that means 5 to 6 it can lies. Okay, you can assume any values for x and y. Step x plus step of x plus 1 by n plus step of x plus 2 by n, and so on, step of x plus n minus 1 by n is equal to step of n pi for all n belongs to natural number.